Hello everyone, this is Luna, the host of LapStory channel, the Labor Bureau. In conjunction with the Public Security Police Force, conducted 3 joint patrols this week. On the 9th, 10th, and 12th, a total of 109 vehicles were stopped, and 6 drivers suspected of overworking were apprehended. The Labor Bureau has opened cases and is following up according to law. Officials stated that they will continue to conduct regular and irregular patrols and set up roadblocks in various districts to crack down on all kinds of illegal work activities. However, after this news broke, online discussions were almost unanimously negative. Many citizens weren't against enforcement itself, but rather felt the real problem lay in the lenient penalties, which lacked sufficient deterrent effect. Under current regulations, if an employer arranges for foreign workers to perform overstepping or crossing boundaries work, the maximum fine is $10,000 per employee involved. The employer's foreign worker employment permit can be revoked, and they will be deprived of the right to apply for a new permit for up to 2 years. But what many people are most dissatisfied with is that this penalty standard is clearly too lenient. One netizen bluntly stated, "Foreign workers working as drivers only get $10,000 in fines, while local drivers operating unlicensed vehicles get $90,000. Why such a huge difference?" Others questioned whether these joint inspections were only done once every 10 years, arguing that finding 6 cases in 3 days doesn't mean the problem isn't serious. It could simply be the tip of the iceberg. Similar sentiments were abundant in the comments section. Some said, "A fine of $10,000 is too little. It should start at least at $100,000. Others pointed out that even abolishing foreign worker employment permits might not be very effective because, if banned, they can simply open another company and reapply, meaning the cost of breaking the law remains too low, and loopholes in the system persist. Some netizens even argued that fines alone are insufficient, stating, "Bosses and foreign workers crossing the border should be imprisoned, otherwise, here is no deterrent effect." Some citizens directly named certain areas as key targets, commenting, "Go check in Qingzhou, you'll be caught until your hands are sore." They suggested that the authorities shouldn't rely solely on temporary roadblocks and patrols, but should establish a dedicated department to conduct long-term special enforcement against unlicensed drivers, foreign workers, crossing the border, and their employers. Others proposed that companies found guilty should be banned from applying for foreign worker quotas for at least 10 years, otherwise the punishment is too lenient, and employers will naturally act without restraint. Ultimately, this operation wasn't entirely meaningless, but the public's dissatisfaction clearly demonstrates that people are not just concerned with how many cases were caught this time, but rather whether the system itself has closed its loopholes, especially given that local unlicensed drivers can be fined up to 90,000 yuan. The fact that outsourced drivers who violate regulations face penalties ranging from 10,000 yuan to 90,000 yuan raises serious questions about the imbalance in enforcement standards. What citizens truly want is not a news report about how many cars were checked, but a genuinely deterrent mechanism that holds employers accountable and closes loopholes in the system. Otherwise, if penalties aren't increased, and companies can simply change their names and continue hiring, then no matter how many inspections are conducted, it will be difficult to shake off the perception that they are merely going through the motions.